Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm talking about my AFC West predictions for the 2021 NFL season. As you'll probably notice, I had a change of scenery behind me. I am now moved into college, so that's why I haven't been posting videos for the past couple of days. I've been moving in. I can't promise regular videos because I have schoolwork that I need to put first, but I would like to try and get a few videos out a week for you guys. I really enjoy making these, and it's a lot of fun. As for the fantasy football draft, for those of you who are doing it, I'm going to be making that on Saturday. So comment down below what time works best for you. I'll probably do it Saturday evening, probably 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's probably the guess for now. I'll put it in the description below, and then you guys can comment whether or not that works for you. We're not going to be able to find a time that works for everyone probably, but if we can get most people, that'll be good. So let's get right into it. First off, for today's video, we have the Raiders. I have the Raiders at 4-13. I think that most of this has to do with a slightly tougher schedule, considering they play the Chiefs and the Chargers twice. I think that the Raiders are a 5 or 6 win team this year. Last year they went 7-9, but I think that was a little bit above their actual skill level. I think that this year they retained or maybe dropped a little bit from there, so that would give them about 5 or 6 wins. I think would be more accurate to their abilities. But that being said, I think that they will go 4-13. I think that they will start off by losing 7 in a row. 7th of these 7 games being against the Broncos, who I think they will beat later on in the season. But first they play the Ravens. The Ravens, I think, are one of the strongest teams in the AFC. I don't see the Raiders beating them. In game number 2, they play the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to be a lackluster version of what they were last year. I think that they'll need to get the easy wins, and the Raiders they'll see as an easy win, and they'll be able to convert. Third, we have the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to be slightly worse than last year, but I still think they're going to be a solid team. That being said, I think that their defense is going to completely shut down Derek Carr, and it's going to be very hard for the Raiders to score anything against the Dolphins, leaving them 0-3. Fourth, we have the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to have one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best offense in the league. They're going to have a decently strong defense, and they'll be definitely a formidable opponent. I don't think that I'll see the Raiders beating the Chargers or the Chiefs once next year. I think that they will go completely defeated to both of those teams, earning them their 4th loss in a row. Next, I have them losing to the Bears. I think that the Bears, much like the Dolphins, are a very defensive team. I think the Bears' offense will improve for next year, and I think that once again the Raiders' offense will be fairly shut down. The Broncos, I think that they'll lose this game. They'll win the later game. I think that they'll lose this game because they'll just be defeated at this point. And then the Eagles game, the Eagles and Giants will bring up their spirits a little bit. Those two are 2 easy games in a row. I think that the Raiders are more talented than both the Eagles and the Giants. I think that the Giants are a very confusing team this year. They're very young. They have a young quarterback that we haven't really seen a whole lot from, so it'll be interesting. I think that that'll be a very close game. I think that the Giants might have a chance, but I think that the Raiders are more likely to win. Next, we have another 3-game streak of losses with the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Cowboys. I think the Bengals are a borderline playoff team that just has a really tough schedule, and they're going to be looking for wins wherever they can get, including the Raiders. The Cowboys, I think, are in a similar situation. They're a borderline playoff team. They're going to be looking for wins wherever they get, especially in the NFC. In the NFC East, they'll be able to win their division. So I think that the Cowboys are also stronger than the Bengals, but I think that the Cowboys are going to be trying to get a higher seed than people really expect them to have this year with Dak Prescott's injury last year. And I think that this will be one of those games they'll just mark down their calendar as, hey, we gotta play strong because we need to take this one. Washington, I have them beating. I have them beating 3 of the 4 teams in the NFC East because I think that they would have beaten all 4 of them last year had they played the NFC East. Moving on to the Chiefs, I have them losing once again. Kansas City is just way too strong. I know that the Raiders beat them last year, I think that this is a weaker Raiders team and the same Chiefs team. Next, we have the Browns. I have them losing to the Browns, who I think are going to be quite a strong team. I have them beating the Broncos, splitting with them. I think that they'll split with the Broncos. Neither team is exceptionally better than the other, so I think that splitting is fair. I think the Colts game will be close, but by the end of the season, the Colts should have figured out their quarterback situation, and they'll be somewhat of a threat. And then the last game of the season will be the Chargers. The Chargers will be still fighting for that number 1 spot in the division. That'll give them that boost to win. Moving on, we have the Broncos at 8-9. I have the Broncos winning the first 3 games of the season against the Giants, the Jaguars, and the Jets. I don't see any of these teams posing major issues to the Broncos. I think that the Giants could put up a fight, once again like the Raiders, but I just don't think that they're strong enough. Moving on, we have the Ravens and the Steelers. The NFC North, quite a formidable opponent once again. Both of those teams, I think, are stronger than the Broncos. The Steelers defense was number 1 in the league last year. I think they're going to continue to be very strong. I think their offense is going to work in that running game with Najee Harris very well. I think they'll beat the Raiders. They'll split with the Raiders, so they'll win the first game, as I said previously. I think they'll lose to the Browns, as I had the Raiders losing. The Browns are one of those teams that are borderline playoffs. They're going to be playing the Broncos tough. I think this will be a high-scoring game. I think this will be one of the highest-scoring games for the Broncos of the season, because when the Browns really need to win games, their defense shuts down and their offense ramps up. Even though this is a strong Broncos defense, the Browns are just going to destroy their defense, and they'll probably win like 40 to like 30. There are police sirens in the background now. If you can hear those, then just ignore them. After that, we have the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should fairly easily beat the Broncos. The Broncos' biggest feature is their defense, and I think that Dak Prescott will be able to figure it out. After the Cowboys, we have the Eagles, and we have the Chargers. I have the Eagles and Chargers both as wins for the Broncos. I have the Broncos splitting with the Chargers, and that is going to be the deciding factor in the Chiefs winning the division. I have the Broncos splitting with the Chargers. I think that the Broncos defense is strong enough to keep the Chargers in check for 1 game and 1 game only. If it was the second to last game of the season, the Chargers win. That's why the Chargers is winning that one. But the Chargers losing this game in the middle, because it's not a pivotal point yet. It's not quite as pivotal a point. The Chargers will still be winning the division at this point in time, according to my predictions, and they won't have as much stock in the game. I have them losing to the Chiefs twice. I have them beating the Lions as their last win of the season. The Lions are going to be terrible. I know Jared Goff is on their team, but I think Jared Goff was only as good as the Rams. I think that he's about as good as Matthew Stafford, and Stafford never had any success with the Lions. And then, to finish off the season, they have 4 losses. To the Bengals, again, I think the Bengals are stronger than 8-9, although I have them at 7-10. I have the Raiders. I think the Raiders will split with them, once again. I have the Chargers and Chiefs. Chargers and Chiefs will both be fighting for that division title. It'll be way too tough for the Broncos to pull out a win against either of them. Next, we have the Chargers at 14-3. I have the Chargers winning most games of the season. I think that their offense is going to be phenomenal. I think that their first loss will come from the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a phenomenal offense, but their defense is trash. I think this will be a high-scoring game, potentially the second 50-50 game of all time. We saw the Rams beat the Chiefs 54-51. I think that this could be our number 2 game. I think that this could be a 50-50 game. Neither of these defenses are great. Both of these offenses are amazing. We're going to see a high-flying game, and if this game isn't 30 or more, I'll be disappointed. Mark this Week 2 game on your calendars. I have them cleanly winning against the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Browns, the Ravens, the Patriots, the Vikings, the Eagles, and the Steelers. The Chiefs and Ravens will be the 2 toughest games in that streak. I think that after losing to the Cowboys, they're going to reel it back in. They're going to beat the Chiefs to try and reclaim the division title. They'll be in first place in the division at that point. Once they're in first place in the division, I think it'll be smooth sailing until the Broncos come in and catch them when they're not paying attention. I think that the Broncos are, since it's a division rivalry game, it's a long time between that Raiders game and that Broncos game. There's 6 weeks between them. And so I think that they're going to not be used to playing division rivals. They're not going to be on their toes, and they're going to get beaten. After that, they're going to play the Bengals and Giants. I just don't think either of those teams are the caliber to be able to beat the Chargers. Enough said there. After the Giants, we have the Chiefs, and I think that the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes will clutch it up to win the division. This game will be the deciding game for the division because at this point, they'll both be 11-2. Both teams will be 11-2 at this point in the season. I think that after this game, the Chiefs will be 12-2, and the Chargers will be 11-3, and then they'll finish off their season with some wins over the Texans, the Broncos, and the Raiders, beating the Broncos and the Raiders to secure their spot as the 5th seed. And last but certainly not least, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at 15-2. Much similar to the Chargers, I don't really feel like going through every single individual game like I did with the lower teams, but overall, Browns, I think they're going to put up a fight, but I think the Chiefs will win. Lamar Jackson always chokes against the Chiefs. I think that he's lost 3 or 4 times in his 2 seasons as a starter. So I don't see the Ravens beating them. I think they'll lose to the Chargers. They'll split with them. That first game being the one they lose, the second game being the one they win. I think that they'll beat the Eagles and the Eagles pretty easily. I think the Bills will put up a fight. The Bills could win that game, but I think that they're going to regress a little bit from last year, and the Chiefs' vengeance to try and win the Super Bowl after last year's Super Bowl choke. They're going to try and come back. They're going to beat the Bills. I think Washington will be an easy win. I think Tennessee will be an easy win. I think Tennessee is a very strong team, but I think they'll be an easy win for Kansas City. I think the Giants will be an easy win, and then I think the Packers will give them their second loss. The Packers have an amazingly strong defense, and I think the defense will win that game. I think that Mahomes will be strangled down to a measly 24 points, and the Packers will score 31-38. Then I have them winning out the rest of the season. I have them going 6-2, and then winning out, or 7-2, and then winning out the last 8. Raiders, easy. Cowboys, easy. Broncos, easy. Raiders, easy. Chargers, easy. Well, that'll be tough, but easy. Steelers, easy. Bengals, easy. Broncos, easy. This is the Super Bowl team this was the number 2 team last year. This was the 15-1 team last year. 14-2 team last year. They would have been 15-1 if Mahomes played. This is the team that is going to win the AFC. The playoffs are a whole different story, but this team will win the AFC. And I think that 15-2 is not unreasonable to predict. I think that they might even beat the Chargers twice, or they might even beat the Packers. They might drop another game. They might go 16-1. Who knows? But I think that it's unreasonable to say they'll be any lower than 13-4. Bare minimum is 13-4. That's the bare minimum for this team. That's why I really didn't want to talk a whole lot about the Chiefs, because I mean, there's not really much to be said. Their offense is amazing. Their defense is better every year. They're a Super Bowl team. So we'll see if they pull it out. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure to check out the information on fantasy football if you're interested, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.